Be the glue, building connections. Prologue, the invisible thread. Have you ever walked into a room and felt an undeniable sense of warmth and belonging? Or, conversely, have you felt the cold sting of disconnection, even when surrounded by people? The difference between these two experiences is often a single, powerful force, someone who is the glue. This isn't about being the loudest person in the room, the one who always has a plan, or the one who hosts every event. It's about embodying a quiet, magnetic energy that draws people together and holds them there. In a world that feels increasingly fragmented, where we communicate through screens and relationships can be as fleeting as a post, the need for genuine connection has never been more urgent. We crave a sense of belonging, a tribe, a family, whether by blood or by choice, that makes us feel seen, understood, and supported. Yet many of us feel powerless to create this reality. We wait for others to make the first move, we retreat from conflict, and we settle for shallow interactions, all while our deepest longing for connection goes unmet. This book is a guide for the quiet revolutionaries, the ones who are tired of waiting. It's for those who feel the pull to do more, to be more, to step up and take responsibility for fostering the bonds that matter most. We will explore what it means to be the glue, a person who, through courage, compassion, and a shift in mindset, becomes the catalyst for unity and healing. This isn't a book about forcing people together, but about creating the conditions where authentic connection can flourish naturally. It is an invitation to transform your life, your family, your community, and, in doing so, to help build a better, more connected world. Chapter 1. The Power of Being the Glue. In the quiet moments of our lives, we often find ourselves reflecting on the quality of our relationships. Are they deep, meaningful, and nourishing, or are they fragile and easily broken? This is the central question this book seeks to answer, and the solution lies in embracing the role of the glue. Being the glue means becoming the person who intentionally and compassionately unites, heals, and strengthens relationships. It's an active choice to be a force for cohesion rather than a passive participant in disconnection. Consider the story of Maria, a successful lawyer who, despite her professional achievements, felt a profound emptiness in her family life. Her parents were estranged, her siblings rarely spoke, and family gatherings were tense, obligatory affairs. One Thanksgiving, after a particularly awkward dinner, Maria decided she had had enough. She didn't blame anyone, she simply took responsibility. She began by writing a personal, heartfelt letter to each family member, acknowledging her own role in the distance and expressing her deep desire to reconnect. She didn't demand an apology or a change from anyone else. She simply offered an invitation. Maria started a family group chat, planned a casual game night, and, most importantly, listened without judgment when her siblings finally opened up about their long-held resentments. By consistently showing up as a non-judgmental, unifying presence, Maria slowly began to mend the broken threads of her family. Her story is a powerful example that it only takes one person to change the dynamic. This concept isn't limited to families. It applies to any group that is losing its way. Take the case of a tech startup where communication had broken down and team members were working in isolated silos. When a new project manager, David, joined, he didn't implement a new top-down system. Instead, he started a simple ritual, a 15-minute check-in at the start of each day, where everyone shared a personal win or challenge, completely unrelated to work. He organized a team lunch where the only rule was to talk about anything but the current project. By prioritizing human connection over pure productivity metrics, David became the glue that helped the team trust each other again. The result? Not only did their communication improve, but their project output and quality soared. The power of being the glue lies in its natural, non-coercive nature. You aren't forcing people to be friends or to forgive. You are creating an environment where it becomes safe for them to do so. You are a catalyst, not a controller. In a world that often rewards competition and individualism, being the glue is an act of quiet rebellion. It is a commitment to the idea that our collective well-being is as important as our individual success. Blank. Practice exercises. 1. The relationship audit. On a sheet of paper, list the 5 most important relationships in your life, e.g., a family member, a close friend, a colleague. For each one, write down the last positive interaction you had and the last negative or distant one. Then, write a one-sentence intention for how you can act as glue in that relationship this week. 2. The small gesture challenge. Choose one person from your list who you want to reconnect with. This week, perform one small, intentional gesture of connection. This could be sending a text that says, "Thinking of you," a handwritten note, or a simple phone call just to say hello with no agenda. Chapter 2. Understanding connection. Why we crave it. To be the glue, we must first understand the fundamental human need for connection. We are, at our core, social creatures. This isn't just a philosophical idea. It's a biological and psychological imperative. Dr. Brené Brown, a renowned researcher, has dedicated her career to studying shame and vulnerability, and highlights that our sense of self-worth is deeply tied to our ability to connect. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a state of being that can have profound negative effects on our mental and physical health. The need for belonging is a primary human motivator, as psychologist Abraham Maslow outlined in his hierarchy of needs. Once our basic physiological and safety needs are met, our desire for love and belonging becomes paramount. We crave to be part of a group, a community, or a family. We want to be seen not just as individuals, but as an integral part of a whole. When this need goes unfulfilled, we often feel anxious, depressed, and isolated. So why do people drift apart? There are a multitude of reasons, often compounding one another. Proximity is a major factor. As we move away for jobs, new relationships, or to start families, the physical distance can create emotional distance. Misunderstandings, left unaddressed, can fester into long-held grudges. People change, and the interests that once bonded them may no longer align. A lack of vulnerability can create an impenetrable wall. We are often too afraid to admit our fears or failures, so we present a curated, perfect version of ourselves, which makes it impossible for others to truly connect with us. Understanding these dynamics is the first step toward becoming the glue. It allows us to approach a disconnected relationship with empathy rather than blame. We recognize that the other person's distance may not be a personal rejection, but a symptom of their own fears or an unaddressed wound. When we take the first step to bridge the gap, we are not just reaching out to them, we are also fulfilling our own deepest need for belonging. Grow _blank. Practice exercises. 1. The empathy map. Choose a relationship that feels strained. On a piece of paper, write down what you think the other person might be feeling. What are their fears, their challenges, their unstated needs? Don't write about your own feelings or what they did to you. Focus solely on their perspective. This exercise helps shift you from a place of blame to one of understanding. 2. Acknowledge the gap. Write a short, honest journal entry about why a specific relationship has drifted apart. Be kind to yourself and the other person. Acknowledge the factors at play without assigning blame. For example, we drifted apart after I moved away for college, and we both got busy with our new lives. This acknowledgement is a powerful step toward healing and provides clarity on the best way to move forward. Chapter 3. The first step, courage to reach out. Fear of rejection is the most common barrier to connection. We tell ourselves stories. They're too busy. They won't care. Or, what if it's awkward? The truth is, people are often longing for connection just as much as we are, and our small act of courage can be the very thing they were waiting for. Being the glue requires a willingness to be the first, to reach out, to put yourself out there, and to be okay with whatever the outcome may be. The secret to taking that first step is to do it authentically, without forcing or manipulating an outcome. You are simply offering an invitation, not a demand. Here are some practical techniques to make the first move. The intentional text message, instead of a generic "How are you?" send something specific and genuine. For example, "Hey, I saw that new movie and it made me think of you. Hope you're having a great week." This shows you're thinking of them without putting pressure on them to respond immediately or extensively. The heartfelt voicemail. In a world of fleeting texts, a voicemail can feel deeply personal and intentional. Leave a short message that says you were thinking of them and wanted to say hello. It allows them to hear your voice and know you care, without the pressure of a live conversation. The small, low-stakes invitation. Instead of a big, formal dinner, suggest a casual, low-pressure gathering. "I'm making coffee at home this Saturday. Would you want to stop by?" Or, "I'm grabbing a quick lunch at that new taco spot. Feel free to join if you're free." These invitations are easy to accept or decline, reducing the fear of a big commitment. A wonderful example of this courage is my client, Sarah. She had a falling out with her best friend, Emily, and they hadn't spoken in over a year. Sarah was terrified to reach out, but she decided to send Emily a card. It didn't mention the fight or demand a reconciliation. It simply said, "I miss you. I think about you all the time." That small, vulnerable gesture was the catalyst. Emily called her that week, and they slowly began to rebuild their friendship, not by hashing out the past, but by creating a new future. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to act despite it. The most powerful way to silence the voice of fear is to take a small, practical action. The more you practice reaching out, the more natural and less daunting it will become. You will begin to see that most people respond with gratitude, and the relationships that don't serve you will naturally fall away, making space for new, more authentic connections. I'm blank_blank. Practice exercises. 1. The 3-2-1 challenge. Over the next 7 days, challenge yourself to reach out to at least 3 people you haven't spoken to in a while. Use the intentional text message technique. Do this with no expectation of a response. Just send the message and let it go. 2. Map your courage. Think of a relationship you want to mend but are scared to approach. On a blank page, draw a line. On one end, write, "Where I am now," fear. On the other, write, "Where I want to be," connection. Now, list 3 small, manageable steps you can take to move from fear to connection. This visualizes the journey and makes it less overwhelming. Chapter 4. Healing Old Wounds, the Art of Reconciliation. Some of the deepest emotional divides exist between people who once shared a powerful connection. Family feuds, broken friendships, and professional betrayals leave scars that can feel impossible to heal. Yet, being the glue means believing in the possibility of reconciliation, even when it seems out of reach. This chapter provides a step-by-step guide to mending broken relationships, focusing on empathy, forgiveness, and the courage to engage in difficult conversations. The first and most crucial step is to approach the situation with genuine empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. What was their perspective? What pain were they experiencing at the time? Reconciliation isn't about proving you were right. It's about acknowledging the hurt that was caused, regardless of who was at fault. Active listening is your most powerful tool. When you do get the chance to speak with the other person, resist the urge to interrupt, defend, or explain. Simply listen. Use phrases like, "What I hear you saying is," or "Tell me more about how that made you feel." This validates their experience and creates a foundation of trust. Next, you must be willing to offer a sincere apology. A true apology is not a justification, it's a statement of responsibility. A weak apology sounds like, "I'm sorry you felt that way." A strong apology sounds like, "I'm sorry for my part in this. I now see how my words hurt you, and I deeply regret it." This takes immense courage because it requires you to be vulnerable and to accept responsibility for your own actions. Forgiveness is the final and most challenging step. It is important to understand that forgiveness is not about condoning the other person's behavior. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It can be a simple, silent act of letting go of your anger, or it can be a conversation where you explicitly say, "I forgive you." Consider the powerful story of a daughter and her mother, who hadn't spoken in years after a bitter fight. The daughter, Maria, decided to send her mother a letter. In it, she didn't rehash the fight. Instead, she expressed her love and a willingness to understand. She wrote, "I've been thinking about what happened, and I want to apologize for my part in our falling out. I'm not asking for anything, but I want you to know that I love you, and I hope we can find a way to heal." This letter was a catalyst for a conversation that led to a tearful reconciliation. Mate, blank_blank. Practice exercises. 1. The forgiveness letter, not to be sent. Write a letter to someone who has hurt you. Pour all of your anger, frustration, and pain into it. Don't hold back. Now, on the back of the letter, write a short message of forgiveness for yourself. Fold it, put it in an envelope, and either burn it or bury it. This is a symbolic ritual of releasing the burden. 2. The three-part apology. If you are ready to apologize, practice this three-part apology. O. Part 1. Acknowledge the hurt. I am sorry that my actions caused you pain. O. Part 2. Take responsibility. I was wrong to say/do that. O. Part 3. Make amends. I want to do better. How can I make this right? Practice this until it feels natural and sincere. Chapter 5. The Glue Mindset. Responsibility without control. The biggest trap of being the glue is the temptation to become the overmanager of relationships. We start with good intentions, but a desire to control the outcome can turn our efforts into a source of stress and resentment. The glue mindset is a delicate balance, taking responsibility for fostering connection while respecting others, autonomy, and letting relationships flow naturally. This is the difference between a nurturing presence and a suffocating one. At the heart of the glue mindset is the concept of responsibility without control. You are responsible for your actions and your intentions. You can choose to be the one to reach out. You can choose to listen without judgment. You can choose to offer an apology, but you cannot and should not control how others respond. You cannot force someone to forgive you, to attend a gathering, or to open up. When you release the need for a specific outcome, you liberate yourself from the fear of rejection and the burden of disappointment. A powerful metaphor for this is a garden. As the gardener, you are responsible for planting the seeds, watering them, and making sure they get enough sunlight. You are the glue that nurtures the conditions for growth. But you cannot force a seed to sprout. The growth itself is a natural, organic process that unfolds on its own timeline. If a plant doesn't thrive, you can't blame it. You can only learn what it needs and adjust your approach, or recognize that it may not be meant to grow in that particular garden. A great example of the glue mindset in action is a leader who understands this balance. Imagine a manager who wants to build a more collaborative team. He hosts weekly brainstorming sessions, but he doesn't micromanage the outcome. He invites everyone to contribute ideas, creates a safe space for open discussion, and then steps back to let the team decide on the best course of action. He is the glue that brings them together, but he respects their collective intelligence and allows them to own the process. The result is a more cohesive and empowered team. Gresha, blank, underscore, blank. Practice exercises. 1. Release the outcome. Choose a situation where you are trying to be the glue, but you feel frustrated or resentful. Write a short, 2-sentence statement that reframes your responsibility without the need for control. For example, I am responsible for offering an invitation, and I release the outcome of whether they accept. Repeat this to yourself as a mantra when you feel the need to control. 2. The listening-only challenge. In your next social interaction, challenge yourself to be a listener for the entire conversation. Do not offer advice, solutions, or interject with your own stories. Simply listen and ask clarifying questions. Pay attention to how the other person responds to your presence. Notice how it feels to give them your full attention without an agenda. Chapter 6. Finding Your Tribe, the Compatibility Formula. While being the glue helps us nurture existing relationships, it's equally important to know how to find and cultivate new ones that are authentic and nourishing. This is about finding your tribe, the people who align with your values, goals, and energy. It's not about finding carbon copies of yourself, but about discovering people who share a common foundation and with whom you can build something meaningful. To find your tribe, you must first understand what you're looking for. This is where the compatibility formula comes in. The formula is a simple equation. Values plus energy plus purpose equals compatibility. Values. These are your core beliefs and principles. Do you value honesty, creativity, adventure, or security? When your values align with another person's, you have a shared moral compass that will guide your relationship through any storm. Energy. This refers to the emotional and social vibe you share. Do you thrive on deep, quiet conversations, or are you energized by group activities and loud gatherings? When your energy levels are compatible, spending time together feels effortless and rejuvenating, not draining. Purpose. This isn't just about a career. It's about a shared mission, whether it's raising a family, building a business, or making a difference in your community. When you share a purpose, you have a common goal that binds you together and gives your interactions meaning. Once you understand your formula, you can begin to actively seek your tribe. Instead of waiting for them to find you, you can take intentional action. Go to places where people with similar values and interests gather. If you love to read, join a book club. If you're passionate about hiking, find a local hiking group. This is the art of strategic networking, not for professional gain, but for genuine connection. A beautiful example of this is a client named Jessica, a writer who felt isolated and uninspired. She realized her tribe would be with other creative people, so she started attending a local writer's workshop. She didn't go to get her work critiqued, she went to connect. She started small conversations, shared her struggles, and offered support to others. Within a few months, she had found a small group of writers who met weekly, shared their work, and more importantly, shared their vulnerability. They became her tribe, and their support helped her complete her first novel. No, blank, underscore blank. Practice exercises. 1. Value mapping. On a piece of paper, list your 5 most important values. Now for each value, write down a practical action that represents it. For example, if your value is creativity, a practical action is going to a painting class. This helps you find new activities that will naturally connect you to your tribe. 2. The shared purpose exploration. Think of a cause or a purpose that you are passionate about. It could be volunteering for a local charity, helping at a food bank, or even starting a community garden. Take one small step to get involved. This puts you in a place where your values and purpose can serve as a magnet for like-minded people. Chapter 7. Building strong teams. Collaboration that sticks. The principles of being the glue extend far beyond personal relationships and are crucial for fostering collaboration in professional and creative environments. A team isn't just a group of individuals working on a project. It's a living, breathing organism whose success depends on its members' ability to trust, communicate, and work in synergy. One person can be the glue that transforms a dysfunctional group into a powerful, cohesive unit. The key to building a team that sticks is to prioritize human connection over pure task completion. When people feel seen and valued as individuals, they are more willing to contribute, take risks, and support one another. Here are some techniques for fostering trust and synergy. The human first meeting. Start every meeting with a personal check-in. Ask a simple, non-work-related question like, "What's one thing you're looking forward to this weekend?" Or, "What's a recent win you had?" This small ritual builds empathy and reminds people that they are more than just their job titles. Create a safe space for vulnerability. Leaders who are the glue understand that vulnerability is the foundation of trust. They share their own challenges and admit when they don't have all the answers. When the leader models vulnerability, it gives others permission to do the same, which breaks down emotional walls and fosters genuine connection. Celebrate small wins. The glue celebrates not just the big successes, but also the small daily triumphs. Did someone go above and beyond to help a colleague? Did they deliver an excellent presentation? Acknowledge it publicly. This creates a culture of appreciation and teamwork. Encourage diverse thinking. A strong team isn't an echo chamber. Being the glue means actively seeking out and encouraging diverse opinions, even if they challenge the majority view. Create an environment where it's safe to disagree, knowing that constructive conflict can lead to better outcomes. A case study that perfectly illustrates this is a software development team that was struggling with morale and productivity. The team leader, Sarah, noticed that communication was strained and team members were constantly pointing fingers at one another. Instead of a new policy, she decided to implement a weekly team sync where everyone had to share one challenge they were facing and one thing they needed help with. This simple act of collective vulnerability completely shifted the dynamic. People started asking for help, and others eagerly stepped up to offer it. They became a cohesive unit, and their project output skyrocketed. Sarah became the glue that made her team resilient and successful. Then, blank, underscore blank. Practice exercises. 1. The +1 practice. In your next team meeting, or a one-on-one with a colleague, make a point to ask one question that goes beyond the surface-level work. For example, how are you really doing? Or what's a project you're working on that you're excited about? 2. The gratitude board. Create a digital or physical space where team members can publicly acknowledge one another's contributions. This can be as simple as a shared Google Doc or a whiteboard. Encourage people to write down what they appreciate about a colleague's work. Chapter 8. Nurturing family bonds, the heart of connection. For many, the family is the first and most enduring source of connection. But family bonds, like all relationships, are not static. They require constant nurturing and intentional effort. Being the glue in your family means providing the emotional support and structure that keeps everyone connected, regardless of diverse personalities, generational differences, or complex challenges. One of the most powerful tools for nurturing family bonds is the creation of meaningful traditions. These rituals, whether big or small, create shared memories and give family members a sense of belonging and continuity. It could be a weekly family dinner, an annual camping trip, or even something as simple as a Friday night movie marathon. These traditions become the anchors that hold the family together through life's inevitable changes. Being the glue also means being a master of navigating conflict. Conflicts in families are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that people are engaged enough to care. The key is to approach conflict with an intention to heal, not to win. This involves setting clear boundaries. Sometimes the best way to heal is to step away from a toxic conversation. The glue sets a boundary by saying, "I love you and I want to talk about this, but I am not going to engage in a shouting match. Can we come back to this when we are both calm?" Prioritizing empathy over a right answer, the glue understands that family conflicts often stem from old wounds and misaligned expectations. They seek to understand the other person's perspective before trying to explain their own. Creating a safe space for vulnerability, the glue allows everyone in the family, regardless of age, to express their feelings without fear of judgment. A powerful example of this is a family that was divided by the parents. Divorce. The children were caught in the middle, and holidays were a constant source of tension. The oldest sibling, Sarah, decided to become the glue. She created a Google Calendar with all the holidays and a simple rule: no one was allowed to talk negatively about the other parent. She also organized family outings that were about connection, not obligation. They went to a movie or a museum with no pressure to talk about the divorce. By creating a neutral ground and setting clear boundaries, Sarah helped her family navigate a difficult time and find a new way to be together. Nay, blank underscore blank. Practice exercises. 1. Start a new tradition. Choose one day this month and create a simple, low-stakes tradition for your family. This could be a no-phones dinner, a board game night, or a walk after dinner. Make it a regular occurrence. 2. The family values chat. Call a family meeting and ask a simple question: what are the 3 most important values to our family? Allow everyone to answer without judgment. This creates an open dialogue and helps uncover what's truly important to the people in your life. Chapter 9. The Ripple Effect. Creating a connected community. The power of being the glue doesn't stop at our immediate circle. When we become a catalyst for connection in our families and teams, we create a ripple effect that can inspire a more connected community. The smallest acts of kindness and intentionality can spark a movement, proving that one person's commitment to unity can change the world. Think about the concept of social capital, the value we get from our social networks. When we act as glue, we aren't just creating personal bonds, we are building up the social capital of our community. This makes our neighborhoods safer, our schools more effective, and our local businesses more vibrant. The collective benefit of connection far outweighs any individual gain. One of the most inspiring examples of the ripple effect is a woman named Jane, who was a high school teacher in a low-income neighborhood. She noticed that the students, though passionate and bright, were isolated from one another. Instead of a traditional lesson, she started a project called Community Champions. Every week, a student would interview a local business owner, a community leader, or a family member and share their story with the class. This simple act of storytelling transformed the classroom. The students began to see themselves not as isolated individuals, but as part of a connected community. This inspired a larger project where students started a local cleanup initiative and, with Jane's help, secured a grant to start a community garden. Jane, through her intentional act of being the glue in her classroom, had inspired her students to become the glue in their community. You can create a similar ripple effect in your own life. It doesn't require a grand gesture. You can start by hosting a community event. It could be as simple as organizing a block party, a potluck for your neighbors, or a book club for people in your apartment building. Volunteering. Find a cause you care about and volunteer your time. This connects you with like-minded people who share your values and provides you with a sense of purpose beyond yourself. Starting a local initiative. Is there a problem in your community that you can help solve? Start a small initiative, whether it's a neighborhood watch or a book swap. This puts you in a position to be a leader and a connector. NAP blank underscore blank. Practice exercises. 1. The 5-minute community audit. On a walk through your neighborhood, take note of 5 things you see that are working well, e.g., a beautiful garden, a park, a local coffee shop with a friendly owner. Now write down one small thing you can do to support it. For example, write a positive review for the coffee shop, or thank the owner of the beautiful garden. 2. The connection blueprint. Create a blueprint for a small community event. It could be as simple as backyard barbecue for neighbors or a dog park meetup. Plan out the details, invite 3 people to help you, and set a date. This small, practical step can lead to big change. Chapter 10. Sustaining the glue, long-term strategies for lasting bonds. Being the glue is not a one-time act but a lifelong mission. True, lasting bonds are built on consistent effort, not fleeting moments of connection. This final chapter provides a guide to maintaining relationships over time, ensuring that the bonds you've worked so hard to create can withstand the pressures of time, distance, and life's inevitable changes. The key to sustaining the glue is to develop habits of consistent communication. It is a myth that a long-lasting friendship or family bond can survive without regular maintenance. The truth is, all relationships require intentional and sometimes mundane effort. Here are some strategies for keeping the connection alive. The check-in. This is one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. Instead of waiting for a special occasion, make it a habit to check in on people. It can be a simple text message that says, "Thinking of you, hope you're having a good day." The consistency of these small gestures builds a deep sense of security and belonging. Celebrate milestones. Big and small, the glue makes a point to celebrate the milestones in a person's life, whether it's a birthday, a new job, or a small personal win. You can send a card, make a call, or send a small gift. It shows that you are paying attention and that you care. Embrace change. Life is a constant process of change. Friends get married, start families, or move away. The glue accepts these changes and adapts. This means not holding on to an old version of the relationship. Instead, you can find a new way to connect that fits the current season of life. The power of the shared experience. Life is built on shared experiences, and a shared experience, no matter how small, can bring people closer. Whether it's a weekly walk, a bi-monthly coffee date, or a monthly Zoom call, these small rituals of connection are what sustain a relationship over time. Being the glue is a powerful and fulfilling journey. It's about recognizing that you have the power to create a world that is more loving, connected, and supportive. It's a mission that requires patience, resilience, and a deep belief in the transformative power of human connection. The world doesn't need more division. It needs more glue. And that glue can be you. Blank underscore blank. Practice exercises. 1. The check-in calendar. Look at your calendar for the next month and block out 15-minute slots to do a check-in with a few important people in your life. This could be a call, a text, or an email. Making it a part of your schedule will ensure it gets done. 2. Acknowledge and celebrate. Think of 2 people in your life who have recently achieved a milestone, no matter how small. Acknowledge it in a sincere way, whether through a card, a text, or a phone call. Epilogue, the lifelong mission. The journey you've embarked on by reading this book is not just about becoming a better friend, a better family member, or a better colleague. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see the world and your place in it. You are no longer a passive observer of disconnection. You are an active force for unity. The path of the glue is not always easy. There will be times when your efforts are not reciprocated. There will be moments of frustration and disappointment. But remember the core of your mission. You are responsible for your own actions and your own intentions. You are the one who chooses to show up with courage, to listen with empathy, and to act with love. The beautiful paradox of being the glue is that in your efforts to connect with others, you ultimately deepen your connection with yourself. You become more resilient, more compassionate, and more courageous. You learn to forgive not just others, but yourself. The person you are in the beginning of this journey is not the same person you will be at the end. You will be a beacon for others, a safe haven in a disconnected world, and a testament to the fact that one person can truly make a difference. This is your lifelong mission. It is a quiet, powerful force that will transform your relationships, your community, and ultimately, your world. Now go out and be the glue. And so our journey comes to an end. For now, a huge thank you for following along and watching the video to the finish line. If you want to continue the adventure with us, be sure to subscribe. Your support makes every new quest possible.